So there's an item in game that has been broken or completely unfinished for at least a year now, and I am talking about the natural termite mount. So hey everyone, my name is Poisonblade and I hope all of you are having a great day out there, and let's just get straight to it because I can already hear some of you guys thinking, Poison, why are you talking about one item in a game of thousands of items when there's so many more bigger issues to talk about, such as game performance and stability, bugs? And my reasoning for just this video and this rant is I don't want to talk about the bigger issues because I will just get frustrated, and when it comes to the natural termite mount, I can just still laugh about it because it's stupid and silly. And also, it's not one item. It's not just the natural termite mount, it's also the concrete version. So it's two items that I'm basically ranting about today. And the issue with these items is the natural termite mount is the funniest because only one animal in the entire game can use the natural termite mount. Any other animal will not see or interact with this item. And the one animal that can use the natural termite mount is the giant anteater. The natural termite mount was released with, or was part of, the South America pack, so that makes sense that like, oh, giant anteater, and they might have forgotten to put it so that the other animals from the base game can use this item. But if you look at the base game version, aka the concrete termite mount, only the base game animals can use it. So like any animal that eats termites in the base game can't use the natural termite mount, and the giant anteater can't use the concrete version. They are both locked out of these items, and any animal that has since been added that would eat termites, I did a 1-second Google search for the sun bears because I had some kind of hunch that they would eat termites, and they do eat termites. No, those also can't use either of these items. So basically these items, in my opinion, just haven't been updated to include any new animals, but also haven't been reversibly updated to include older animals. Usually when I make these rants or have frustrations surrounding Planet Zoo, there's always like excuses that I can make, or like, oh, these are reasons why they haven't fixed or changed this. When it comes to the natural termite mount and the concrete version, yeah, I can't really look at it in any sort of positive light. The excuses that I made at the start when the South America pack got released and I saw that like, oh, only the giant anteater can use this natural termite mount. At first I thought like, oh, this is unfinished, maybe they are going to fix this, but it's been basically a year now, so I think they have just completely forgotten about this item. Yeah, let's just get straight to the explanations that I can still manage to think of, because I can't really make any excuses now. By like, it's 1 year since these items got released. It's been longer with the base game item, so I can't make the excuse of like, oh, they are working on this. Like, I definitely think that they have forgotten about this, or are just like, not intentionally, but it's just been swept under the rug. But the explanations that I can think of for like why these things or items work the way they do is, first, they might have intended it for it to be this way, which makes no sense whatever way you look at it. Of course, the explanation that I'm going for is that Frontier just completely forgot these items. Like, I would say like, oh, they are broken or they are unfinished, but they work perfectly fine. It's just that they haven't been updated reversibly for older animals or updated with newer animals. So, in my opinion, it's not really that these items are broken. They work perfectly fine for the animals that can use them. It's just the amount of animals that can use them makes no sense. So my explanation is just Frontier has forgotten about them, and that to me just, I don't know if I'm reading too much into this. I probably am because I'm a squirrel. I read too much into basically everything. But to me it just shows a lack of like dedication, or just a sheer amount of laziness to not go into, well, actually it's not really laziness either, because it's just like, you were building or you were working on a natural termite mount and you didn't include any of the older animals. Well, it can actually still be laziness because you didn't take the time to include any of the older animals, and you didn't take the time to include any of the new animals. And then same can be said with the concrete version. So for me, there's like, these items, like any other enrichment item that has been added into the game or was part of the game since base, any new animals that have been added or any older animals that were there that should be able to use these items can use these items. It's just the natural termite mound and the concrete version or the concrete termite mound that have this thing going on. And I think somebody, like, don't take this as a fact, but I think somebody once mentioned, like, oh, when it comes to the natural termite mound and the concrete, like, there's missing animations. And that's an excuse that, to me, a year after release doesn't hold any worth, because again, it's a year after release. Frontier has had plenty of time to fix this, but they just don't. They keep piping out new animals, new DLCs, and when it comes to the older things, one of the things that I can think about when it comes to the natural termite mound and the concrete version is there wasn't any fuss about these. There wasn't any big attention drawn towards these things. So Frontier never felt like they needed to fix these because, I mean, case in point, the binturong. Like, that animal, well, just a fun little tidbit about the binturong in my case. You guys all saw a second pair of ears when it was with the older model of the binturong. I just saw horns. Like, I thought that, like, I have seen binturongs before, but I never thought that they had horns. Have I forgotten that binturongs had horns? Anyway, when it came to the binturongs, there was basically a massive uproar in the community. Like, these models didn't look right, and Frontier was very quick to change them. Like, within like a day, there was, I think, a message of like, yeah, they're going to change this. And when it came to the natural termite mound and the concrete version, nobody batted an eye. Like, again, this isn't something that's like a big issue. I think any casual gamer or any casual Plan Zoo player is not going to look into this. Like, I can completely like see their point. Like, it's such a small issue, and like, again, this video is really just ranting about 2 items in a game of 1,000, but it's funny to me because the bigger issues frustrate me, and this is just funny. Like, there wasn't any massive uproar, there wasn't any attention drawn to this, so like, there wasn't any push for Frontier to actually fix these items, because while I wouldn't say that they are really broken per se, they are still in a way broken because they don't function like they probably should. Yes, I'm still talking about one item in the game and I'm now making this into a whole bigger issue, but to me it does feel kind of like Frontier doesn't have the same amount of dedication maybe to Plan Zoo as they did to Plant Coaster, but again, I might be reading too much into this. It might literally just be like, oh, Frontier forgot about this item, nobody called them out on it, so they completely forgot about the item. But basically, just to keep this video short, because otherwise, like, I could make this into like a 20-minute rant, I'm not going to, but basically, we have 2 items in the game that, well, natural termite mound is again the funniest because only 1 animal can use it in the entire game, where we now have 100, maybe 90 animals, but only 1 animal can use the natural termite mound, and I think only 4 animals can use the base game version, aka the concrete termite mound, even though new animals have been added that would eat termites, aka the sun bear for the most recent release. And there's probably other animals that have since been added that would also eat termites and would probably also use these items, but they haven't been, well, these items just don't work for them. They don't see them, they don't interact with them. So that's basically the bigger issue when it comes to these items. They haven't been updated, they are basically left in a basically unfinished state because, yeah, Frontier has forgotten about them. Just completely off topic, and just to close the video out a bit, I saw one comment in the last video, the rant about the meerkats, that just stood out to me, and again, I might be reading too much into it, but that comment said like, don't be so down too early, Frontier can still surprise it, and that's, like, that one word, surprise, just made me sad, because it just gives me the feeling of like, oh, we don't expect Frontier to give us good, interesting animals with well fleshed out mechanics. Like, when that happens, that's a surprise. That's kind of like a miracle. Like, we expect Frontier to basically give us subpar animals, basically. But yeah, that's just a comment that I wanted to basically highlight. And anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. what do you think about these items? Again, I know that this is a very silly rant about 2 items in a game of thousands of items, but I just found it funny, and especially the natural termite mount, because again, it can only be used by 1 animal in a game with 90 or more animals by this point. Yeah, so what do you guys think about this? What is your guys' opinion on this? And I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you enjoyed this weird, silly rant. And if you enjoyed it, there's the like and subscribe button. If you want to see more, I will probably have like some speed builds in between, because I don't want to turn into a rant channel, even though it's pretty funny for like some of the silly things. But I'm not going to change to a rant channel. But anyway, I again hope you enjoyed the video. There's the notification button that doesn't work, but YouTube keeps saying that it should work, but it doesn't. But anyway, I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.